Welcome to Cuba Deep, the number one place for travel information to Cuba. Since President Barack Obama reestablishes the relations between Cuba and the United States, Cuba became the hottest spot in the Caribbean to be visited by celebrities. These are the top 10 celebrities that have visited Cuba after they officially reopened the United States Embassy in July 20, 2015. Barack Obama. Definitely, we need to start with the historic visit of the ex-president of the United States on March 22, 2016. First time since 1928 that a sitting president has set foot in the Caribbean country. Obama enjoyed every second of his stay. Starting with a tour on the old Havana, where he visited the Havana Cathedral, La Plaza de Armas, where the statue of Carlos Manuel de Cespedes, the father of the land, is located. He went to the USA Embassy to meet the whole staff. He also enjoyed with the President Raúl Castro Ruz a Major League Baseball exhibition game between Tampa Bay Rays and the Cuban national team at the Latino Americano Stadium in Havana, popularly known as El Latino. He and his family got dinner at the popular restaurant, or paladar as they call it in Cuba, named San Cristobal, restaurant that was recommended by Beyoncé and Jay-Z. This president, that is well known by his sense of humor, made an appearance in the most popular TV show in Cuba, Vivir del Cuento, with the famous Cuban comedian Pánfilo.
Usted ve el estadio, qué bonito quedó, the baseball stadium tomorrow.
Oh, well, the baseball game is going to be great. I just hope that no foul balls hit the beast.
And he finished his visit with a remarkable speech to Cuban people.
We can make this journey as friends and as neighbors and as family, together. Sí se puede. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Rolling Stones. A few days later, the Rolling Stones went to make the biggest concert of a major rock band in the history of Cuba. More than 100,000 people attended to the concert. The British band was amazed how well Cubans knew the lyrics of their most famous hits like Brown Sugar and Out of Control. Rolling Stones singer Mick Jagger told the crowd in Spanish.
Años atrás era difícil escuchar nuestra música aquí en Cuba. Pero aquí estamos, tocando para ustedes en su linda tierra. Pienso que finalmente los tiempos están cambiando.
Beyoncé and Jay-Z. This couple were the first celebrities that visited Cuba once the relations between Cuba and the United States were reestablished. They had an amazing trip visiting places as the famous restaurant San Cristobal, as we already mentioned, and La Guarida restaurant, the place where the famous Cuban film Fresa y Chocolate was recorded. They also visit some Cuban schools, including the Cuban Superior Art Institution, well known as ISA. And all the time, Jay-Z always was carrying a nice Cuban cigar. Rihanna. Rihanna's main purpose, it seems, was to have an amazing photo shoot in Cuba, and oh yeah, she definitely did. The popular singer had pictures basically at every corner she stepped on, with a whole photography team. She enjoyed a trip around Havana in a beautiful classic car. This is another celebrity that crossed the stairway of La Guarida restaurant, and of course, had the picture that exploded on the social media, a completely nude picture on a room in Havana. Bon Jovi. This American Idol also visited Havana, Cuba. On the summer of 2016, he had a short stay of 3 days in which he could only visit a few places including La Guarida restaurant and met some Cuban artists like X Alfonso, and David Blanco. But he fell in love with the island and said that he will be back soon, but this time with the whole band to make another historic concert in Havana. Madonna. The Queen of Pop decided to celebrate her 58th birthday in Cuba in August 16, 2016. She stayed in Havana in the Hotel Saratoga, spending only 3 days at the island but losing no time. Restaurants, friends, pictures, mojitos, classic cars, and a lot of dancing completed her schedule. The famous singer had an amazing time doing conga line and even dancing on top of a table on a restaurant, a birthday that she won't forget. Fast and Furious. No US film had shot in Cuba in over 50 years. In April 2016, Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez, and the director F. Gary Gray, with the whole filmography team of Fast and Furious, went to Cuba to film what it was the beginning of the film number 8, The Fate of Furious. Both actors got a blast in Cuba and they fell in love with the Cuban people.
Los invito a pasear el país de Cuba conmigo. ¡Pa'lante, Cuba!
Everybody should remember the epic scene of the race in Cuba, and yes, they really throw a car in the water of Havana Bay. Will Smith.
Havana, Cuba.
In April 30, 2017, Cuba hosts the 6th World Annual International Jazz Day. The Hollywood star presented the event where musicians like Herbie Hancock, Chucho Valdez, and more than 50 other performers from 10 different countries make an amazing concert. The American actor enjoyed the whole night and emotionally said, "Jazz has been the voice of freedom for millions of people of all ages, entities, and creeds, because it reaches the soul and connects with the spirit of all humanity." He also published in his Facebook a picture in a boxing school in Havana, but he didn't give any more details. The Kardashians. Of course they got to go to Cuba as well. They are always where celebrities and polemica are. With the company of Key West and Malika Haq, the Kardashian families enjoyed the tours on the classic cars, very nice Cohiba cigars, and also visit the famous restaurant La Guarida, always making sure that they bring a lot of pictures that they can post on their social media. Usher went to Cuba with the company of the rapper Ludacris. We left his visit to the end because, in our opinion, was the most special. Usher, like any other tourist, didn't go to Cuba to have a ride in a classic car or take selfies of himself smoking cigars. He did all that, but his main purpose was to really get closer to the Cuban people. Like a pure artist, he explored all the arts in Cuba. Visiting the Art Institute in Cuba, he enjoyed a few dance and music projects. He also enjoyed the live music of the famous author, composer, singer Kelvis Ochoa. The American star had a meeting with the plastic artist Michel Mirabal, who gave him a hat paint with a Cuban flag on his unique style. For more details of his visit, we highly recommend you to watch the video 4 Days in Cuba with Usher by Complex News, where you can see an Usher enjoying Cuba in our style. Deep.
Our next field trip with Usher was checking out a performance from Havana's famed Compass dance group. Just like the block party, he actually got involved and had a really great time dancing with everyone.
Thank you for watching this video. For more interesting information, please subscribe to this channel and visit our official website.